Niches of Bdellovibrio by Kenesha McNeil. Overview. Role and position, which is the role and position that Bdellovibrio plays in an ecosystem. Resources that Bdellovibrio uses. The habitats that Bdellovibrio lives in. The interactions that Bdellovibrio interact with as such as other species. Unique adaptations. Fundamental and realized niches. Roles and positions. Bdellovibrio species name is Bdellovibrio. The role is a secondary consumer or microbe predator. The food, it preys on gram-negative bacteriums to survive and gets its nutrients. The position it plays in the ecosystem, it is a microbial level top predator. Resources that Bdellovibrio uses. For food, it obtains everything it needs in invading and digesting the cytoplasm content of its prey, which it does that through a attack and growth phase. For water, requires moist environment to maintain a circular function, mobility, and nutrients diffusion. Shelter, it uses the paraplasm system of its prey, called the derloplasm, as a predator niche during reproduction. Here's a few environments that Bdellovibrio lives in. It lives in soil, fresh water, marine environments, and wastewater transmit systems. In these different environments, Bdellovibrio remains at a temperature of 28 Celsius to 37 degrees Celsius under aerobic conditions. It thrives particularly in places of high density of gram-negative bacteria. Its prey has to be present. Within these different environments and habitats, Bdellovibrio needs to be able to move swiftly as well as freely, so it is able to impact its prey and is able to function and able to survive. Within these three different environments, the soil has to be moist and it has to be able to provide Bdellovibrio the required source of food when it needs to be able to interact with the host bacteria. So within the sense of water, like any aliquot or soil-dwell bacteria, Bdellovibrio maintains its cellular functions and it thrives in these different environments and habitats. Bdellovibrio will not be able to function or be able to prey on the bacteria if it does not have its abilities of water for it's able to be moving. Bdellovibrio is also an anaerobic bacteria, so it requires oxygen for it to metabolize and energy produce. It uses oxidate phosphorylation to generate ATP while breaking down the different prey macromolecules. The interactions that Bdellovibrio comes into interact with is, of course, other predatory bacteria that do also eat gram-negative bacteria. Here's two that are big competitors to Bdellovibrio: protozoas as well as bacteriophages. Both of these different competitors do the same exact thing that Bdellovibrio does, which they also eat other bacteria. The two different types of predators that Bdellovibrio comes in contact with, it does like any other prey against prey. Of course, it tries to eat it first. It tries to attack first so that it can consume the other species, and so that it can continue to get the nutrients and continue to have prey availability. So for competition, it comes in competition with two other predatorials, M. Voracis and Mycobacteria. These two different types of bacteria definitely compete against Bdellovibrio as well, because they are predatorials too. They also try to get the upper hand when it comes to Bdellovibrio, and it tries to attack as fast as it can. Being a optonic factors like pH, moisture, and sanitation also affects the behavior, and it does disrupt how Bdellovibrio interacts with others. Unique adaptations. Alright, Bdellovibrio has involved several remarkable adaptations. As I previously said, it has two-phase life cycles. One, which is the attack phase, which allows it to live freely. And the other is the growth phase, where it is inside of its prey and it is interplasmatic and is taking over the cell of that host cell or host bacteria. And it is reproducing and replicating its DNA, turning that host bacteria into another Bdellovibrio bacteria. With its flagella, it allows it to move rapidly through the water environments, and it allows it to prey in different prey locations. Enzymatic tools to degrade the prey cell walls and utilize the inner components allows it to be able to metabolize inside of the different cells of the host bacteria, and it allows it to be able to be replicated. Fundamental versus realized. So the fundamentals that Bdellovibrio uses or has is, of course, fresh water, marine ecosystems, soil, and sewage treatment systems. Those different types of fundamentals allow the Bdellovibrio to be able to interact with other gram-negative bacteria and be able to function and move around and be able to reproduce itself within those different environments. Realize next that Bdellovibrio comes in contact with is, of course, other bacteria that are predatory just as they are, and environmental pressures such as fluctuations in nutrients levels and or pH. So if the pH is lower than it needs to be for Bdellovibrio to survive, it will not be able to reproduce and do replications and allow it to continue to prey on other gram-negative bacteria. Here are my resources that I use. Thank you.